Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it is a joy to follow the member for Dumfriesshire, Clydesdale and Tweeddale. First of all, because I agree with the point which he has made about the A75 and the importance of developing that road, because it's dangerous and also because it's a vital link between GB and Northern Ireland. And secondly, I support his strong case for the Union, because of course, just as Northern Ireland is better off within the Union, so Scotland is better off within the Union. And I think that the reaction to COVID and the resources which both countries got as a result of the decisions in this Parliament to combat COVID is an indication that neither could have survived and neither could have gone through this pandemic without the support of the government here at Westminster and without being part of the United Kingdom and having the resources of the United Kingdom. But I would just say, Madam Deputy Speaker, that as we move from the pandemic and the dealing with COVID to recovery, it is equally important that the government recognises that if it's going to cement the Union, then there must be clear evidence that in that recovery programme, in the levelling up programme that all parts of the United Kingdom are given the attention which is required to ensure that that economic recovery is effective, and that the businesses which have been damaged by restrictions, the people who have lost jobs as those restrictions, find themselves given opportunities. And in Northern Ireland, the difficulty, of course, is that part of the programme which the government has outlined in the Queen's speech today will be faced with difficulties because of the Northern Ireland Protocol. I mean, first of all, the government has said it will support industries and where there is national priority. Northern Ireland remains under the EU single market rules. Any support which the government is likely to give to businesses in Northern Ireland can be challenged and will be challenged, I have no doubt, by the government of the Irish Republic, businesses in the Irish Republic and the European Commission. The government has said that it wishes to release regulations. That will have an even greater impact because, of course, since Northern Ireland, under the protocol, a monstrous decision to remove all democratic control of laws in Northern Ireland, place them in the hands of Brussels, any relaxation of regulations UK-wide cannot apply to Northern Ireland. So the advantages of deregulation, which I believe is right in many instances. Let me give one example. The government, and I welcome the government's commitment to improved animal welfare. And one of the things I hope they will do is to stop the export of live animals to the continent because of the suffering that causes. Yet those rules could not apply to Northern Ireland because we will still be subject to EU regulations on the export of live animals. And I could give lots of other different indications of that. So the first thing the government has to address is the protocol. If we're going to have an equal chance in the levelling up agenda, then Northern Ireland must not be economically and democratically disadvantaged by the imposition of Brussels rule, which we're left with as a result of the protocol. The second thing that I want to come to is the commitment which the government has made to setting binding environmental targets. Now, I know that ahead of COP27 in Glasgow, the government is engaging in international virtue signalling. But there is no point in setting these kinds of targets unless it spells out what the impact on people are going to be. And I know that the member from Maidenhead in her speech today said, oh, you can reduce CO2 emissions and still have economic growth. We have done that. Well, the truth of the matter is, of course, we have reduced CO2 emissions by divesting ourselves of many of our heavy industries and energy-intensive industries. The steel industry, aluminium industry and many other energy-intensive industries. We have simply it's not that the CO2 emissions have stopped being emitted. We've simply moved it to another country. But if we're going to reduce CO2 emissions, set these targets, then the government has to spell out how is it going to do it. More renewable energy? Does that mean we add to the £12 billion per year that electricity consumers pay on their electricity bills for subsidies for renewable energy? Does it mean that we're going to find that there are greater restrictions on people's ability to fly because we make flying more expensive, one of the big producers of CO2? And what impact does that have on people's ability to go on their annual holiday? That we insist that people have more expensive ways of heating their houses. It's estimated to make houses energy efficient, £20,000 investment in heat pumps, etc. Are consumers going to pay that? That the Committee for Climate Change has said we'll have to stop eating less dairy products and meat. Are we going to even tell people what their diet should be? If we're going to set these targets, then the government has got to be honest that you can't simply set a target but not spell out how you impact on people's choice, on people's freedom, and what we would regard in a free society as the ways in which people can make those choices. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has said that he wants to put rocket fuel into the economy after the pandemic. I hope that it is rocket fuel and not a damp squib. My fear is that the issues about the union, if the government does not deal with the Levelling Up programme properly, if it does not deal with the divisive impact of the Northern Ireland Protocol and the impact which that has on Scottish nationalism as well, then he is not going to achieve that objective. If we continue to pursue these high-level climate change and CO2 reducing targets, then are we going to find more and more that people's personal choices are affected and fuel poverty increases as energy bills go up and we chase away energy-intensive industries and lose jobs? And if we are going to move in that direction, then I believe that we don't have a government which is free market, free choice and pro-union. We will have a government which actually acts against all of those particular fundamental principles of the Conservative Party, and that's why I want to see, and I believe it is important we see, what the actual details of this Queen's speech come out to be.